Coach, how's Saturday? Anything new today?
So we had a lot more situation work today. Real competitive day. We got a little bit more physical today, but they were good. And it's a different schedule for us. Last year we were Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so we always had a day off between practice. This year, because of how the calendar fell, we go 4 days a week. So to come after a padded practice yesterday to another one today, I thought they did a good job. So.
What kind of situational stuff did you do today?
We did some coming out situations today. Trying to get a first down coming out from your own goal line, and a lot of third down work today. So our defense was getting into their sub packages, and we were getting into some 4 wide packages. So it was a coming out day and a third down situation day for us.
Do you feel like they were good right from the start? Did you have to get on them at all?
No, they were good. I mean, we practiced we had meetings at 10:30 and practiced at 11:15, so they were fine.
Just because it wasn't first thing in the morning, you're saying?
I don't know what it was, but I know they were good. They also know what we need to get. You only get X amount of practices, so we're 4 in, and we only get 15. So you got to make sure they all count. And how the schedule falls, we got to get 15 practices in 24 days, basically, or 26 days. So they know they got to be sharp around here. They got tomorrow. They're off today. They got this afternoon off, all day tomorrow off, and then we'll come back Monday, and get back into a normal schedule. We're 4 days a week, Monday through Friday, for the next 2 weeks, and then those 3 days of practice that last week. So.
If you'd wanted to stretch it out, you would have had to start almost a week later, something like that.
No, if we wanted to go for 5 weeks, we would have not gotten all of our evaluation days in recruiting. So we're kind of up against it from that standpoint. We could have gone and then had the spring game on May 5th, but then we would have gone out May 6th, and then we wouldn't have got all 30 days of evaluations in. So instead of being jammed up there, we just decided to see how this goes. I think I talked to Mike up at Oregon State. I think they're doing the same thing, and Sark's doing the same thing. Everybody that fell on the quarter schedule, you can't start in March. Like most schools, when they have spring break, they take a week off and they come back. But because we have finals and then spring break, you'd have to take, I think, 2.5 weeks off. And there's too big a break to do it that way. So I think everybody kind of went to 4 days a week.
Chip, who stood out in your film work that you've seen in the film?
In the first couple of days, I don't know if anybody's actually stood out where you were like, wow, that guy's head and shoulders above him. But, for us, it's seeing which guys are making improvements from practice. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 4 right now. So I think we're getting a lot of good work at all positions, and it's a chance to see young kids, like a Tony Washington, who's played for us last year. To get to see Avery, get to see Bryan Jackson, get to see some faces that you weren't used to seeing out there. But they've played, but they haven't played a ton. So those are some of the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, James Usher's done a nice job on the offensive line for us. Tyler Johnstone's done some good things for us. The young tight end Evan Bales is getting a lot of reps right now, and to understand where he's been right now, because there's a couple kids that aren't going full in practice at that position. So Kenyon Barner and D'Anthony Thomas aren't bad, when you watch those guys out there. So, but Yele Ford and Kenny Bassett done a nice job too. So it's interesting. And all 3 quarterbacks, I think, all 4 quarterbacks have done a decent job. Bryan and Marcus are getting the bulk of the reps there, but been real happy with it. We've been really accurate with our throws. We got to catch them a little bit more consistent. Too many drops today, but it was it's been a good first 4 days. And we'll see how they can bounce back once they're starting to get into a rhythm of how we're doing things now. And once that newness wears off, you're always fired up the first couple of days of practice. What's it get like when you get from practice, 6, 7, 8, 9, until you get to the finish line is really, I think we can kind of test ourselves. So.
Usher's name keeps coming up. What do you guys see from him?
He's a big physical kid.
But he
really
was that coming in.
Yeah, but I think his body's catching up to him. He's starting to now, as I was going to finish, he was a big physical kid, but he's starting to get some athleticism to go with that big physical part of it. So, he was a big diamond in the rough. He's just worked so hard, I think, with Jimmy Radcliffe in the offseason. And then really mentally, he's doing a lot of good things. And when he gets his hands on it, it's tough for people to kind of get out of him. And there's, a kid that's forcing as we try to get guys in our rotation in the O-line. As he keeps working at it, it's nice to have some of those redshirted freshman offensive linemen starting to, him and Johnstone, some of those kids, and Andre, where do they fit? Because we lost Mark, we lost Darian. We've got some proven guys back, but what are those young guys that we redshirted last year? And in the O-line, I've been really, for the first 4 days, happy with some of our young kids at that position. So hopefully they can continue to grow. So.
What do you like specifically about the quarterback battle at this point?
The quarterback battle is that we don't have a game until September 1st, so I love that part of it. So, those guys are out there competing every day. They're both improvement, and they're better today after practice 4 than they were after practice 1, which is what we've asked those guys to do. They've got a real good command of what we're trying to do, and we've thrown a lot of things at them in the first 4 days from an insertion standpoint, and they really haven't kind of gotten overloaded mentally, and they both done a nice job. But really for us, there's no battle because we don't have to pick a starting quarterback, or we won't pick a starting quarterback. We did the same thing when Nate and Darren were battling it out a couple years ago, until we play that week before the first game. And that stuff will work itself out, because who's your quarterback on April 28th means nothing when you're not playing until the following September. So, but both those guys, are competing the way they should be competing. They're encouraging to each other. They're learning when they're not in there. They're getting a lot of mental reps. And they're doing a nice job in terms of how we've thrown a lot at them, but they've handled that package pretty good.
How has Mariota picked